What's up, Midget Nation? Welcome to the 9th episode of the Freeburg Fan Zone podcast, featuring boys basketball coach Dakota Street and girls basketball coach Bethany McQuiston. This episode was recorded on January 23rd as we talked about how our fantastic coaches ended up here at Freeburg, broke down their current seasons, and of course played some fun games. Let's get right into it. What's up? I'm here with boys head basketball coach Dakota Street and girls head basketball coach Bethany McQuiston. Also sitting with us today is my shadow, Nicholas Whitney, who will hopefully take over the podcast during baseball season. How are you guys doing today?
Doing all right.
How about yourself?
Doing good. Thanks for asking. Nick, you want to say hi at least?
What's up?
So, how long have you guys both been coaching for?
I'll start. I've been head coach here at Freeburg. This is my 7th year as a head coach here. I was an assistant coach for 1 year here before that, and then I was an assistant coach at Nashville for 7 years. So I'm on year 15 at the high school level.
Yeah, this is year 1 at Freeburg for me. I did another year at Jabot last year, and then I was an assistant for 7 years before that, and then I was a college golf coach for 3 years as well. So about, 12? Year 12 now.
How did you guys get into the sport, both as a player and then later on as a coach?
I played as a kid, since I was little. The first teams I were on, it was me and about 3 of my girlfriends played with the boys because there wasn't really like a girls team or anything like that. I kind of started playing as a kid. And then, played school basketball and stuff like that all the way through. I played golf in college, but still helped out with some basketball stuff. So I just always played, and I enjoyed all sports as a kid growing up, but I always loved basketball and really love the strategy behind it and all the different elements. I think that you understand more as a coach, or that you recognize more as a coach. I loved it as a kid too, but didn't understand it as much as I've been able to now.
Coach Street?
Yeah, I think I really started playing basketball in 3rd grade. Where I'm originally from is El Dorado, and it was a huge basketball tradition. And so at that age, we started warming up with the high school team, and that's when it really took off. Played basketball all my life. And then I went to college, played golf in college, and decided I didn't want to do that anymore and got into coaching. And that's my real passion, is being here to take care of young men and young women, help them be better citizens and productive people in society. So.
Yep, that's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
That and winning. How did you guys first hear about the positions that you have at Freeburg now becoming available, and what made you want to take that job?
So when I interviewed here at Freeburg, like I said, I was teaching and coaching at Nashville at the time, but I was familiar, obviously, with the program, and Coach Crunk was coaching at the time. I was really familiar with Coach Crunk because when I was in high school, she was coaching at Althoff, and they actually asked me in my interview if Muscuda, which is where I'm from, if Muscuda ever beat Althoff when I was in high school. And Coach Crunk starts rolling her eyes because we upset them in the regional title in 2004, and it was freaking awesome, man. It was great. So that was kind of a fun little memory. So I knew who Coach Crunk was, and then I got to coach under her for a year here and learn a lot more about the program. And honestly, the first year I was here, I went down in the girls' locker room. I found a box of old scorebooks and stats and everything, and I went through and just compiled all the records and really learned about the history of the program. And so really kind of tried to do a lot of research and understand it before I took on that head coaching role. I was familiar with the program. I was familiar with Coach Crunk, and then I got to, like I said, be an assistant for a year, so I think that helped a lot.
Yeah, mine came, Coach Unger is actually my, AD Unger is my next door neighbor. So
Really?
He'd actually asked me to apply for the job last year, and I had just taken the job with Jabot, and so I didn't feel like it was right to do that to them. And then when it came open again, he said, "Man, I don't know if it's ever coming open again, so you better do it now if you want to get back to the boys' side."
Yeah. So were you coaching the girls at Jabot?
I was the varsity coach at Jabot, and I did the JV as well. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Coach Street, what was your mindset coming into this season, knowing that you were going to be our third head coach in 3 years? Did that affect anything at all?
Well, I think it's a learning curve for the boys in the aspect that, all three of us coach a little bit differently than what they're used to. I know Coach Lauer he's used to having a ton of sets, and the boys are wanting to slow it down and do that. And I think Coach Hendricks did a little bit of that, but also he had a Cole Stewart, so he kind of had some freedom to do whatever he wanted. And we got some kids stepping up and playing positions that they're not used to playing or not having to play, so it's been a little bit different this year.
What were your guys' expectations for each of your teams heading into this season?
I'll go first. So we had a very young team last year, and so my expectations and our expectations as a team and a program, to kind of sound cliche, was just to grow off of where we were last year. To kind of move that stuff to the next level. And to better understand what it takes to win at the varsity level, and to be competitive. And I think that this year they've bought in more on understanding how to play together, how to run offense, how to try to control the game. You can't just go out athlete somebody. That doesn't work at this level. And understanding that you've got to have some basketball skill and some good decision making to be successful. So my expectations were just finding ways to get us to first buy into that and understand it, and then start learning how to apply it and execute it to have success on the floor. So I think we still got work to do, but I'm really proud of where we are right now, even just compared to a year ago.
There's definitely a learning curve I've seen between all the girls from last year and this year, going from sophomores into juniors, and that'll happen whenever you don't have any seniors in your program.
Yeah, we always talk about getting good, player leadership and things like that. And I think part of that does have to come with some maturity, just that natural maturity you have. You said sophomore to junior. I think that's a huge jump in terms of academically in school. I think your classes all of a sudden get a lot harder as a junior. You're like, oh, man, and the responsibilities, y'all got your driver's license now. You have jobs. Maybe you didn't have jobs a year before. There's a lot to it, but I think it helps that mental maturity, and that transfers into just being able to have more leadership.
Yeah. Coach Street, what were some of your expectations coming into the year?
Well, not being as familiar with the guys, besides having a summer with them, seeing how they react in game action has come a long way. But, the main thing is for us to come out and compete on a night-in, night-out basis. Most of my kids and everyone that I've talked to, even after our games, say our kids play hard and they compete to the final whistle. So that's something that I want to make sure that we continue to instill, and our basketball IQ has got to continue to raise. We got to spend time in the gym shooting more, but from where we're at today compared to where we were when the season started, I'd say we're night and day different.
Yeah, I think that's the basketball IQ and just being in the gym is something you might have gotten a little bit luckier than Coach Hendricks with whenever he started, because he didn't get any time in the summer. He got 1 week in July, and that was about it. We didn't do too much in August and September. But you guys have definitely been practicing in the gym a lot more, trying to just keep getting better.
Yep.
How's your guys' season gone so far, do you think, compared to your expectations from the beginning of the year?
I think our schedule is very tough as it is. We've played, 4 teams that are ranked in the top 5 in state in various classes. And we've played about 3 or 4 more that are, in the top 10. We've got a good win over Oakville. They're ranked 3rd in state right now. So I think we challenge ourselves as much as we can. And it's about rising to the occasion. And at the end of the day, you're playing these, 14 weeks to get ready for week 15, which is when postseason starts. And you want to have good wins and quality wins and games you learn from. At the end of the day, though, everybody's record is the same come week 15. And so, I look at our season as what's going to prepare us to play in the postseason when it matters most. And so I think we've definitely done some really good things this year to move in the right direction. And we talked about it even just this past week about, hey, everything starts now moving forward to get one step better, because now it is getting in that crunch time. We're around week 11 or 12, right? So we only got about 2 or 3 weeks until postseason starts, so we want to really, really lock in here so we're playing our best basketball come week 15.
Coach Street, what are your thoughts on the boys' season so far?
Well, I'd say our win-loss record's not where we want it to be at currently, but, we've competed in almost every game we've been in. Same as Coach, we've played a ton of ranked opponents already. We have, good or bad, a couple of teams in our conference are ranked in the state, and they will continue to be there. Our non-conference is just as strong as anybody else's when it comes to that as well. We competed last night with a top 15 team in the state, and we were down 2 at the end of 3, and we gave them all they wanted. So I think we're better now than we were, and it's for the boys, you break it down into kind of 3 parts, and we're finishing our second part of the season right now. You go to the Christmas tournament, that's part 1. You go to midwinter, that's part 2, and now we're getting ready to start part 3 to get ready for the postseason play. And I think, besides our win-loss record, I think we can compete with just about anyone we play.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen it even in your losses. There have been a lot of close losses. Close loss last night, close loss the night before. So you guys can definitely compete with anybody.
Yeah, we just got to stop turning the ball over.
Yeah, that's key. All right, we're going to take a short break here, and when we come back, we're going to play Freeburg Feud. Our Midget Athletic Booster Club is ringing in the new year with a resolution to raise more than ever for our student athletes. If you would like to contribute to that amazing goal while having a little bit of fun yourself, you can participate in the MABC's weekly Queen of Hearts raffle by purchasing tickets from Next Up Bar and Grill, the Tailgate, or Brick House Bar and Grill during their normal business hours. The weekly drawing takes place at 7:30 on Wednesdays at one of the 3 locations, which you can find on Facebook. And the total is now up to $13,305. So if you want to have some fun while supporting your student athletes and maybe even win some money yourself, then head to one of the 3 locations to participate in this awesome event. We only have 6 winter sporting events left this year. Our fans are what takes us to the next level at Freeburg, so we need all of you to finish out the season just as strong as our athletes at our final games. The next event is wrestling's final home meet on January 29th. This match will be a whiteout theme, and all students are encouraged to bring their white confetti poppers. Proceeds will benefit a local family in need, and Mr. Unger will have prizes for fans between rounds, so make sure to be there this Wednesday, January 29th, to support your wrestlers one final time this year, and to finish out the year just as strong as our athletes attending each of the last home games. Welcome back, and now it's time for Freeburg Feud. So, very similar to Family Feud. I'll ask you guys a question. You guys will ring this bell here. Whoever rings it first gets to answer first, and then you'll give your answer. The other person will give their answer. We have 5 questions for you. We'll go through all 5, and then at the end, we'll add up all the points for your scores. Okay.
Let's go. I'm locked in.
First question. I surveyed 25 Freeburg students and asked them, what has been your favorite game day theme so far this year?
Camo night.
Okay. Coach McQuiston?
I'm going to say whatever the frat boy thing is.
All right. Next up, what Freeburg team has the best jerseys?
I'm going to say the football boys when they've got their BDU, their military grade ones.
All right, and Coach Street?
I would have to say our gray jerseys.
I was going to say, I'm surprised you didn't say your own jerseys.
Well, I also know the students at Freeburg.
True, you're answering to what they say.
Exactly.
Next up. Oh,
I want to change my answer. Can I do that? I want to change it to the pink ones. I think our pink jerseys.
I just kept, so they had multiple choice, and it was just each team.
Okay.
So boys basketball counts for all of them.
Okay.
I got you.
All right, good.
Oh, well then you didn't tell me that. I might change my answer.
You want to change your answer
I'm going
now?
boys basketball is what I'm going with, so.
The best part about basketball season at Freeburg is what?
Probably the gear.
Gear, okay.
Oh, I guess I did have to do that. I'm going to say play in Columbia.
All right. Next up, what player, boys or girls, is most likely to go viral on social media for an epic basketball fail? Do I need to start the countdown here?
I think we pass on that one.
Epic fails.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
You want to pass on that?
Yeah, we're
Be
going to
nice
pass
to
on that
players?
one. Yeah, let's ask a different one.
What player, boys or girls, do you think had the most fun playing in the snow over our extended winter break? One just got out there and turned into a little kid all of a sudden.
Anne-Marie Trentman.
Yeah, I don't know all the girls, so I guess one of the boys I would have to say probably DK.
All right. That's it. So we're going to add up your scores right here. So, Coach McQuiston, you ended with 5 points.
That's terrible.
Coach Street, you had 10, which means you are our winner today.
All right.
Coach McQuiston, that was rough. We'll go through some of these other answers here. What has been your favorite game day theme so far? Number one answer was blackout with 5, and each of you guys had 3 on the other one.
All right.
Oh, I got all my points on the first one.
What Freeburg team has the best jerseys? Boys just got new jerseys, and that was the number one answer was 7. That's what put it away right there for you.
All right.
Football isn't even on there. I was kind of surprised.
Well, we're not very smart here at Freeburg, I guess. We don't really think very much.
The next answer was girls basketball. That's why I told you I was surprised.
We do look good. Our black ones that say midgets are pretty good.
Mm-hmm. What player, boys or girls, had the most fun playing? Oh, I skipped one. Best part about basketball season? No, I skipped one of them. I skipped over. Not I skipped one, but like asking you. The best part about basketball season at Freeburg is number one answer: going to the game / being in the student sections. That was 11 of the 22.
Okay.
That's what I figured, but when we play Columbia, then they get to yell back.
One of them actually said student sections versus Columbia.
Who was
so
that
you
person?
Got 1 point.
I'm vibing with that kid.
Yeah.
And then our last one here, who had the most fun in the snow over our winter break, number one answer was Alex Fritz, followed by Gentry, 5 and 4 right there.
Okay.
Anne-Marie was 1 point. Back to some of our basketball questions now. What aspect of your guys' teams have you been able to lean on most this year? Is it the hustle or playing as a unit or some senior leadership for the boys?
I think our seniors, we've had many of our seniors in the lineup all season. I think they've really progressed and gotten a lot better in their roles. Robert Fritz has really stepped up, and Jace is knocking down shots. Plus, he's giving you your effort every night, and Joey comes in off the bench and knocks some threes down for us, and he's been playing a lot more aggressive on defense, exactly what we need. So, I'm relying pretty heavy on our seniors right now.
I'd say with the girls, definitely, one stat we look at and we talk about quite a bit in the locker room is our assist to field goal ratio. So those nights when we have like 11 or 12 assists on 15 field goals made, we look at that as a great team effort, So that's one thing we look at a lot. And honestly, too, I can't ever complain about the effort they give and how hard we play in games. They're always out there trying to do whatever they need to do. I think if you look at our scoring from game to game, we've got different people who can score. And even the nights when somebody doesn't score a lot, you look at the other stat lines and they've got assists and steals and rebounds. And so really, I'm just really proud of the team effort that they're giving. And being able, for me, they know this, I got to be able to trust 5 people out there at the same time. And I'm lucky that we got more than 5 on the team who I can trust really, really well. So it doesn't matter who's out there, what group we have going. They're playing really well together, which I'm really proud of them for.
You guys mentioned how you're in the home stretch here. What are some of the keys for success for your teams coming down the home stretch and hopefully as you make that playoff run?
I think for us, and honestly this might be for any basketball team, learn how to control the pace of a game, especially in the postseason or getting close to it, is you want to be the one in the driver's seat the whole time. And so good quality possessions, just shutting people down on the defensive end to really motivate that too. But I think ultimately both of those things come from being able to control what's happening in the game.
Yeah, I think as our discipline grows, our understanding of being able to value possessions more, and the first shot's not always the best shot. So being able to take care of the basketball is something that we got to continue to do on this last stretch if we're going to make a run in the playoffs.
What are the steps that you take as a coach to build this winning program? You're now in your 6th year, you said?
It's my 7th year as a head coach.
7th year as head coach? Yep. And Coach Street, you're in your 1st year. So, Coach McQuiston, what are some of the things you've already done? And for Coach Street, after she goes, what are some things that you're looking to do to build that winning culture?
So, I mean, you hit a key word there, which is culture, right? Everybody talks about that in every kind of sport you play. And I think a lot of it comes from what you do in the off season, what you get done in your summers as a team, what you can do to build that trust together. Anything you can do on the floor and anything you can do with a basketball in your hands, it doesn't really matter if you don't have that trust within your culture, from player to player. And so I think a big part of that is getting together in the summers, having the team bondings, doing that kind of stuff, learning about each other to build that trust when you're together on the floor. It's finding ways to get our older girls to reach out to the feeder schools and the younger kids and things like that to get them excited. And in like I said earlier, it's kind of educating them a little bit on the program itself. So I've got all the career records so everybody can see who's done what, and your goal is to get up there and be a part of that and to do something to carry on. So much of that happens outside of the 4 months of the season. You can't try to do it during the season because there's just not time, right?
Yeah.
And you got to build it before you get there.
Once you get to the season's go time, you're grinding practice every day if you don't have a game. So
Yep.
Yeah, I would say our biggest thing is establishing the culture to become a better team, do more things together, have more communication as far as, sometimes you have a drop-off from seniors not wanting to talk to freshmen, and you got to understand that for us to be a successful program, the one guy from the freshman to the one guy from the senior, and everyone in between has to be on the same page for us to be our best. And I'd say ultimately our biggest thing that we got to do is, one, we got to spend more time in the gym shooting, and we got to get stronger. We got to be in the weight room. You can see that against teams that are efficient and good. They're all strong. They've all put in the time. So that's something that we're going to continue to implement and make sure that we have going forward.
Looking forward to next year and beyond, what are your guys' visions for your programs down the road?
Well, I'll start because we're in a situation this year, like we were last year, we don't have any seniors. So, we talk about everything this year as kind of like a 2-year plan. Like we want to get stuff done this year, but we want to just kind of move to the next step. So next year, man, we can just hit the pedal and go, right? We're building off of what we already started, last year and what we're doing this year. And then, when we do have seniors next year, it's their last shot, right? So just looking at really continuing that and kind of echo what Coach said, making sure that then those older kids pass that down to the younger ones and they show them some expectations and show them what that leadership is like and, what they expect everyone to get done and everybody to do when you're, wearing a Freeburg jersey.
Yeah, I think, going back to like what Coach was saying earlier about culture and everything, I think we just got to understand that you got to play for the name on the front of the jersey, not the name on the back of the jersey. And so as we're continuing to put that in place, I would say our future's pretty bright based on where we're at. At any point, we start 2 sophomores right now, and we got a freshman coming off the bench, and we got other sophomores. So we're not done on this year, but looking forward, you have, like Coach said, she's relied heavy on underclassmen for the last 2 years, and we're going to be doing that for a while as well. And the classes that are coming up, I mean, there's a lot of good pieces there as well. So I'd say the program's probably hopefully on the up.
Yeah, for sure. You guys both mentioned the future of your program and those younger players. What would you tell a 8th grader, 7th grader, or any new transfer students coming in the program? Like, what would you tell them that you're looking for in new players?
I would say, kind of goes without saying, but obviously we're always looking for effort all the time. And then probably the biggest thing that goes along with that is commitment. Being able to commit to the program, not only in season, but then being committed to you developing as a player on your own in the off season. We can't train you in the 4 months we have basketball season, and that's got to be a commitment that you make on your own. Doesn't mean you can't do other things. I've coached golf, softball. I'm a huge proponent of having these multi-sport athletes, but if you're only holding the basketball during basketball season, that's not going to work. It's going to be pretty tough. So, being ready to work hard and committing to what you need to do to develop yourself as a player, especially in the off season.
Yeah, I would echo Coach that on everything, and then emphasis on making basketball kind of a priority to you, in the aspect of that. We have kids that go and hit a baseball during basketball season. They play baseball during football season. They do all these other things. It's not hard for you to sit at home, grab a basketball, and you can work on your shooting sitting at home on your couch. You can lay down and do that. If you care about it enough, you're going to find ways to get it done. And so hopefully that we can change that to where basketball is something that they want to make a priority.
We talk a lot about team goals and personal goals with athletes on here, but do you guys have any personal goals as coaches?
Honestly, and I kind of reflect on this a little bit year to year. And it sounds cliche, and Coach kind of said in the beginning, but you coach because you want to develop these relationships that last beyond your season. You want to see these kids succeed. You want to be able to celebrate their victories with them. And the best way to do that is by being part of a team together, right? So what goals do I have? I want to be able to continue coaching as long as I'm passionate about it, I'm excited about it, and as long as I feel that, my players are benefiting from it, that we're all doing things for the right reasons, and that we're wanting to get better, and we're wanting to see each other succeed and celebrate in that, because at the end of the day, that's what you're going to remember most. I've been in the state tournament in 2 different sports multiple times, got a couple state titles as an assistant. Everybody want that goal too for your team and your players to be able to make it to state, right? But more importantly, you want to be able to make it there with people that you really love and care about, and that you have that bond. So that's got to come first, and then the wins usually come a little bit easier when you have those relationships first.
Yeah, Coach, she nailed it. And it's one of the big things that we emphasize when, and anytime we break it down, we're always saying family. And, I got that from some other teams that I've been a part of. And it's just meaning that, like for instance, we went and played Meridian last weekend. Well, Meridian's head coach was one of my former players. So it's just coming full circle that way, and that's why you do it. Excuse me. You want them to grow up and to, like I said earlier, to be productive citizens, to be good husbands, good fathers, do everything the right way, and you hope that you're leading by example to do that, to make that a personal goal. I'm going to coach as long as I can. This is my passion. This is what I care about. I'm unusual to it because I'm not a teacher like most coaches. So I'm outside the school system, so I don't get to see my kids as much. But try to make it as good as possible. And my job is fortunate enough to allow me to still make appearances at the school even during school hours when I'm not teaching. So that's what I hope and pray, that my kids want to come back and be a part of the program even when they're done.
Yeah, I think just being a family and that brotherhood or sisterhood of playing sports together, that's what you remember at the end of the day at high school. No matter how much you win, you remember your bonds with your coach and your teammates the most, more than anything else. On that note of family, you guys are both part of families. Coach, I met Brooks before. I've seen your daughter running around Dakota Street, and you posted on Instagram the other day. How do you guys balance being both a parent and a spouse on top of work and coaching?
So I'm lucky that I got a lot of really good support from my family. My parents, my in-laws are they love anytime they get to spend with the 2-year-old terrorist who lives in our house. But they're really helpful. And my husband's great. He knows during basketball season it's really, really a busy time. So he's very supportive of that, which is huge because you can't coach if you don't have support close to you. Brooks is 2, so he's still, in the gym, tries to find a new way to kill himself every time he's in there. Hopefully, maybe another year, of some growth and maturity, and he can stay up a little bit later, make more appearances at games, and things like that. But yeah, I'm just lucky that I've got a lot of help to make it possible for me to be able to coach.
Yeah, and I'm in a little bit different situation than Coach is, but my daughter is 6 now, and she really is taking a liking to basketball more. She really got into watching Caitlin Clark, and so, that was a big theme for her for Christmas, is that's what she wanted, and things like that. So her just trying to come and be around the game a little bit more is more exciting for me. With that being said, she's active. She does soccer. She does gymnastics and all this stuff. So I miss a lot of her stuff by being a coach. Her mom does great with her, and we share time with that. So, excuse me. And then the other thing is I have a very supportive girlfriend. She also has 3 daughters, very active in everything that they do. So we make it work, and there's just a lot of stuff that goes into basketball there's a lot of time that you're spending date nights or watching game film and or watching some kind of sporting event, and that's just how it goes. So
a lot of fans I don't think realize how much work goes into coaching outside of the however long your games are, your 36-minute games. There's so much more that goes into it.
Yeah.
And all stuff like that.
Yeah. Very appreciative of it.
Yeah, for sure. Our Freeburg Fan Question of the Week. If you want to submit your own Freeburg Fan Question of the Week, make sure you're following at Freeburg Fan Zone Podcast on Instagram. Our first one's from freshman Sydney Rock. What inspired you to become coaches?
I think what inspired me, a kind of combination of things. One was just, my love for sports and competition, and the memories I made as a kid playing sports, why I wanted to continue being a part of that, right? And the other aspect was, my passion just for teaching in general, for education. I love being a teacher and being able to coach also, because it's just an extension. It's a whole nother element, and you just really get to know kids on another level. And it's just, like I said, people say teaching and coaching are like a calling, right? You have to love it, and you have to really want to do it. And so I think it's just my experience growing up, how much I loved it, coaches I had that were impactful to me. And like I said, I look at coaching as just an extension of education. And that's my passion, what I want to do. And so I'm lucky enough to get to be able to do it.
Yeah, I would say that the game of basketball itself is a passion that coaches are on a different level with, that that if they really appreciate what they're doing and they're not just doing it for a paycheck, because if they are, they're in the wrong thing, because you don't really get paid enough for your time. So I that's not why I ever got into coaching. I would say my high school coach made a huge impact on my life in that, and I was fortunate enough to have him coach me in 3 different sports, and so he prepared me a lot more for life than anything else. I was in the military for 10 years, and I went through basic training and everything, and as hard as what people think that is, and for some it is, But I called my coach as soon as I was out. I called him and I said, Coach, I just want you to know I appreciate everything you ever did for me, because what you did for me pushed me way harder than what I just went through, and that prepared me for a whole different other aspect of life. So
yeah, there's for sure another level of stuff that you learned from coaches outside of just what you learned about playing your sport.
yeah.
Another one from senior Tim Miller. If you could coach one other sport at Freeburg, what would it be? And Coach Street, I don't know how well you can answer this part. Who would be your star player?
Well, I mean, I've coached golf and softball here.
You're gonna get into
Yeah.
football or volleyball here, Coach?
I mean, I can bring the energy. I don't know how much I know about some of the other sports that I haven't coached a whole lot. I mean, we are playing badminton right now in PE, which is an IHSA sport.
You can create your own sport here.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I saw Avery Wittenauer lay out for a birdie today in badminton like it was nobody's business. I mean, it was good. Gosh, I don't know. Actually, I guess on a serious note, maybe track. I don't really know much about it. I mean, but I could learn. And I just think that would be kind of a cool sport to coach, just because there's so many different levels of everything. Like, aspects of what you're doing, right? So many different skills you need between field and running events and distance and sprints and stuff like that. So I think seeing those dynamics of it would be cool. And I guess, my stars would, I'm not blind. I'm going to say the Trentmans and Matt Pluff. I mean, duh.
Well, I would say that the easy one for me would be golf. Obviously, I played that in college and I've coached it before. But the one to throw it off, and I think I don't know if this falls in the sports category or not, but believe it or not, I would probably coach the Scholar Bowl team. I did
It is
that.
an IHSA event.
Yeah. I believe it or not, I did that for 7 years, from junior high through high school. So I would do that. I'm not sure who my star would be because I don't know, but I would do whatever I had to do to find a way to win.
If you just had a guess from your basketball team, which one of your players do you think would be the best at Scholar Bowl?
Oh, boy.
Oh, probably Alex Fritz.
That's not a bad
pretty
guess.
good.
That's a good
Yeah,
guess.
that's a good
I've had
guess.
some of those kids in class. That's a good guess.
Yeah.
Last one here, I think our photographers want a little shout out from Delilah Foster. What do you think of the photographers at all your games?
I think it's great. I saw Foster the other night. And Coach, you'll say, I don't know how much you really observe outside of what's going on the floor, but I did happen to kind of catch that she was down there, taking some pictures and stuff, and I hadn't seen her before. I know Olivia Joseph takes a ton of pictures, and she's awesome about sending stuff to me all the time, so I can make graphics and post some things. But yeah, anytime we have more kids involved doing stuff, I think it's great. I mean, I don't want to sound too old school, but we lost a lot of that stuff after COVID, with just kids taking on some responsibility and not even responsibility, but just the wanting to be a part of things, even if they're not a top 5 player in a sport. Just being there and supporting your friends and watching them and being a part of it. And I think that's starting to come back more, which is good. So, and these kids taking pictures and posting them, it helps to make that grow. It helps to make more kids want to come out to games and be a part of things. So I think it's great.
Super helpful for whenever I'm making graphics for social media.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Athletic social media.
Yeah, I think they do a fantastic job. I always like everything they do, and they invite us to collaborate on them and everything. It's really cool. I think they really do a great job of highlighting the kids, and they get the fans and they get the students. Mm-hmm. I'd say if we can just continue to get more students to games, that's always more fun.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on to our next and last segment here. Hot take or hot garbage? If you think it's a good take, then you can say hot take. And, kindly, respectfully, you can call it hot garbage. Having e-learning days and not adding days on to the end of the year is better than tacking on snow days and going a little bit later than usual.
1,000% hot take. Let's go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Next
I don't know why more schools don't do it.
Yeah. Next one, Caitlin Clark, who you already talked about, is the most influential player of the last 5 years so far in the 2020s.
In all sports?
All sports for the last 5 years for this decade.
Oof. I mean, for what she did for women's basketball, I think Team USA dropped the ball when they didn't add her on the roster, to be honestly. So I think it's a hot take for me.
Yeah, I say it's a hot take too. I'm trying to think of another player in another sport that made that big of an impact in what they do. And in the last 5 years, I don't know if I can name another one.
Yeah. Next one, college basketball is more entertaining than the NBA.
Hot take.
Yeah, definitely hot take.
Well, hang on. Entertaining is probably the wrong word. Because
we're on the same path.
I think the NBA is probably more entertaining, but better basketball is being played at the college level.
Yes, I agree. That's exactly where I was going. If you want to get better and watch some skill set, look what college teams do. I mean, if you want to think you're freaking LeBron, then watch the NBA. But yeah.
The current NIL system has worked just fine and should not be changed.
Oh, that's got to be garbage. That's got to be hot garbage.
I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, I don't want to sound like an old person telling kids to get off my lawn, but I think it's got to suck it up a little bit and have some commitment to something, and quit seeing who's going to pay you the most when you're 19 years old. But.
Yeah, I don't think them getting money is an issue. I think when they jump from school to school to get more money is the problem. I think
I agree.
There should be some
contracts.
Yeah, there should be.
You want to be treated like you're in a business? Sign a contract.
Yeah.
Last one here. The NFL promoting Taylor Swift is bad for the league.
I'm leaving the podcast if anybody says. There's no question. We can't. You're talking about the biggest celebrity on the planet.
I put this one in here just for you and put it last just to end the bank here.
Is it bad for the NFL? I don't know if it's bad.
There's no statistical way it's bad. No one's turning off an NFL game because of Taylor Swift, but more people are turning it on. All right, so
I agree with you.
1,000%.
I just said that
good.
just to get you fired up here. Thank you guys so much for doing this. You both have games tonight. Good luck tonight, and then good luck down the rest of the road for the season and the playoffs.
Thanks, Caleb.
Yeah, thanks, Caleb. Appreciate you having us on. And earlier we were talking about the photographers, but I think you're doing a fantastic job of promoting this and doing this while you're in high school and everything. Like, it's really cool that you're doing that, man. So thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thank you. That'll do it for this episode of the Freeburg Fan Zone podcast. I hope you enjoyed, and of course look forward to seeing you at the rest of all the winter sporting events until our next episode in February. Keep on cheering, Midget Nation.